All right, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Whenever you hear this message, I pray that you're poised to receive, to accept, and to respond to words of wisdom. Ashe. So today I want to share a lesson with you about communication. And more explicitly, I want to share a message with you about over-communication, right? And this lesson was inspired by the lesson that came out of our daily devotion in the temple. But immediately, it reminded me of a really powerful lesson that I learned when I was working in the tech industry. I was an implementation engineer in WorldCom, and one of my clients had a problem. There was a discrepancy in some work that I had done for them, and it was starting to escalate. But fortunately, one of my supervisors got wind of it before it got too high up. He swung by my desk and he says, "Hey, Femi, this is what's up. I checked it out, and the good news is that you did all the things you were supposed to do. You crossed your T's, you dotted your I's. Your work is in order. However, I'm going to advise you on something that you didn't do, which is you need to read your clients based on their personality and or based on their industry. And in some instances, it's in your best interest not just to communicate the basics, not just to deliver on time and with a certain quality, but you need to over communicate." So he went on to describe to me, when I say over communicate, this is what I mean. You're giving them updates before they even ask for it, right? If the interval for the time that we get this order to the time we deliver that order is 7 days, you're giving them updates at 3 days, just to let them know this is where we are in the process. If you deliver the product and it's got 5 features, well, you know what? You're going to give them like three little bullet points to substantiate those features, or some kind of explanation about the limitation of those features. You're just going to provide pertinent information about what we're selling them without them asking for it. And part of the reason for that is CYA, right? If y'all work in a corporate environment, I'm sure you hear about the law CYA, cover your derriere, right? But there's another more important aspect of over communicating in that instance. So I'm the implementation engineer. My point of contact is a salesperson for the client company, but that person is passing on all of the intelligence that I give them to somebody else. Okay? And so if I can bolster the communications between me and their company, then it makes my point of contact look good, because now she's passing on not just a product, or he's passing on not just a product, but he's passing on, they're able to educate the people on their side about this thing. Say, hey, you know what? This guy's not only selling, but he knows his stuff. She's not just, hitting numbers, but she's able to inform us and educate us about what it is we're doing and the limitations of the product and et cetera, et cetera. So it makes that person look good. That is how you go from good to great. You help other people flourish. You create a platform or an environment in which other people can just take what you've given them and now get some accolades in the business meeting, right? But here's the reason why I'm telling you this as it pertains to the practice of Orisha lifestyle. Within our tradition, you're going to find a certain percentage of the people who are also entrepreneurial. There's some of y'all who have some kind of business. A lot of you have some sort of business. And over the years, I've heard people complain about the lack of support, right? Your friends, your family, your relatives, they're not really supporting your endeavors. They're not getting behind you the way you really want them to. But in reality, they may not be the people who need what you offer. And so you got to get more clear about who your audience is, who needs your product, who needs your service. Your friends and your family may not need it. They may not even understand it. They may not know anybody who understands it. So you got to know who to communicate with. And then once you get clear about the folks who are really going to be in the market for what you have to offer, those are the ones who you communicate with and over communicate with. It's the same with the tradition. Your friends and your family may not be into Orisha. It just may not resonate with them. They may not have the capacity to stop practicing the Semitic religions, right? That doesn't have to be a problem. It doesn't have to be a cause for contention between you and them. It means that you got to accept the fact that they're not into it and they're not going to be into it and they don't know anybody who's ever going to be into it. So you got to figure out, hey, you know what? Well, what is it that Orisha is doing for me and who else needs that? How do I now over communicate with the people who actually need and want to participate in these kinds of traditions, these rituals, these ceremonies, these experiences? Okay, so the call to over communicate also requires that you get more clear and precise about who you're talking to, who really needs to know what you do, who needs all the details about your practice. Once you get really clear about those folks, then you're going to know more clearly what problem you're helping those people solve. Those folks are going to be super ecstatic. You're not going to be able to give them enough information. You're not going to be able to over communicate with those folks. But you absolutely positively must read the room. And then once you've got your audience, you let loose and you tell them everything that they need to know. This is a lesson, of course, for the leaders. I'm trying to reach out and communicate and over communicate to the people who want to improve the world through positive influence. If you are one of those people, I want you to find out how Oloye Obafemi Origuwan and the Orisha Lifestyle Academy can help you take your practice and your life to the highest level possible. Visit me at obafemio.com or orishalifestyle.com. Let's start working together to help you live the medicine that will heal your life and heal the lives of those who you are destined to serve. I look forward to working with you. Bye for now. Odamo.